right, welcome back to another episode of College Football Unabridged. We're going to tackle West Virginia, and I'm really interested in West Virginia. Rich Rod, being back at West Virginia is interesting. I mean, most of us saw how they were going before he ended up going to Michigan and looked very good there. Outside of Michigan, and they even had success in Michigan, but everywhere else he's been, I mean, he's had good teams, always a good offense. Um, they have Michael Hawkins. Came over from Oklahoma. Didn't have the greatest situation in Oklahoma. I don't know if his skill set really matched what they wanted to run there. Kind of lackluster. I feel like at West Virginia, maybe with Rich Rod's system, his dual threat ability can definitely come in. And maybe Rich Rod gets the best out of him, showcases him a little bit. A lot of this is going to ride on transfer Cam Cook. He comes over from Jacksonville State via TCU last year. He had a nation-leading 1,659 yards and 16 touchdowns, which is fantastic. Maybe he can get into that mold. That kind of you can use him like Steve Slayton, some of those guys from the old school Rich Rod days. Love to see get that run game going. Maybe get some option going with Michael Hawkins and him, and be really tough to stop. The Big 12 is always wide open, and anybody can, they kind of beat up on themselves. They're all kind of equal. Not a whole lot of separation. But with West Virginia, I feel like with second year under Rich Rod, last year was kind of a mess. They had imported like an entire new. Last year they had like an entire new team coming in. I mean, they had a lot of turnover. This year maybe things get settled down. They got kind of the system in play, the guys they want. Defensively, they bring in Kamari Wilson, who started off over at Florida, a solid corner, no safety. I'm sorry. So he, his is his senior year. Maybe things come together for him. You have Wisconsin Nickelback and Lattimore coming over. There's a lot of seniors and a lot of seniors and juniors on this team. So hopefully with experience, being the second year of Rich Rod, maybe they can turn a corner. I'd love to see West Virginia turn a corner back with Rich Rod and take hold of an opportunity to with the Big 12. This kind of maybe raise up a little bit. And last year they went 4-8. With all the turnover, you expect it to be kind of an off season. They did beat Pitt. They beat Houston. Towards the end of the year, they had some close games. Some of their losses could have been wins if things would have went a different direction. This year the schedule looks a little bit better. They start off with Coastal Carolina. They have UT Martin. Good warm-up games before they get Virginia, Oklahoma State, Iowa State with a new regime there. They got at Texas Tech later in the year. Houston at Utah at the end of the year. It's Big 12, so it's kind of all over the place. It's hard to gauge, necessarily. They're kind of all equal. There's not much separation, as I said. Virginia game and Charlotte third week. That's going to be kind of a turning point in the season. They start off early with some good wins, get things going in the right direction. Maybe get the offense clicking on all cylinders and get a win at Virginia, and then. Down the stretch, they got some winnable games, but just a matter of which direction. If they can get things clicking on everything, get those losses into wins, and take care of business. But I can see an improvement for 4-8. Maybe get up to that 7-win mark would be ideal, if not more. It's a lot of turnover with some of the other Big 12 teams. Seeing how. Quarterbacks leaving. You have Sorsby leaving from Cincinnati, Hoover leaving from TCU. So you have a lot of question marks on some other Big 12 teams. With a good kind of senior-laden team. maybe they can make some strides and see how Rich Rod does in year two.